Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Amazing Indiana. My name's Fred. Great to have you on the channel today. And please remember to subscribe to the channel and also to like this video. It really does help. Well, today we are at Indiana Dunes National Park, and we are hiking the Cowles Bog Trail today. It's a great day. Temperature is probably about 70 degrees right now, and it should be a wonderful hike. So sit back and I'll try to show you what it's like to hike on the Cowles Bog Trail. So we started the hike today from the north parking lot for Cowles Bog. It's about I think an eighth of a mile, quarter of a mile walk from the parking area to the trailhead. Gorgeous trail. We're going to be moving through mixed hardwood here for a bit, and we will also be skirting this wetlands area. So one of the really great things about this trail is this magnificent boardwalk which goes through some of the wetlands. Depends what time of the year you're up here, what you're going to hit as far as wildlife, spring peepers, birds, insects, all kinds of stuff. We're hiking actually the first week of September, so you know, the ecosystem is beginning to slow down. Winter's on the way, but there are still all kinds of wonderful things for us to see on this hike. Well, here we are, and this is where the trail starts to get interesting. You start hiking on sand, a little hard to move up, but if you just keep at it, you'll get up this trail. Find also, look, roots, how convenient. Now, what's really cool here on this part of the hike is that we're actually hiking through what I believe is known as a succession forest, or a series of succession dunes. And here I think you can see one of the most fascinating things about the Indiana Dunes system is how forest and other ground plants have taken over the dunes, and you can very clearly see how the vegetation holds all of the sand in perfect place. So this is not an exposed system of dunes. They're very, very stable because of the way they're held together by all of the trees. And as you hike on the Cowles Bog Trail, you will be moving through this kind of ecosystem. But if I pan the camera over, you will very clearly be able to see some of the wetlands which mark this area. All right, we're about midway to the beach right now on the Cowles Bog Trail, and this is a glorious trail. I think I've said that before. Behind me, you can see part of the wetlands, part of the bog system itself. Problem with staying around like this talking to you guys is the mosquitoes, and I slathed on a lot of mosquito repellent today, but they're still pretty thick. Though we've got a nice breeze today, so maybe that'll keep some of the little boogers down. Now, also, this part of the trail that we're hiking on does have a lot of sand. However, this sand is pretty well packed down, so it shouldn't be too hard for most people, especially if you're just reasonably fit. I think you're gonna be okay. Remember on this hike also to pack in a lot of water with you, because it can get really hot back here. Now again, I'm hiking the first week of September. Temperatures in the low 70s right now. It's early morning. Got a nice breeze going on, so I'm not too thirsty yet, but you always do need to remember to have enough water when you're doing some of these hikes. We have now started a very gradual climb up towards the top of the dunes, and as you can see as I bring the camera around, once we get up this part of the trail, and it's got to be very honest, it's a little bit slow going because this is pretty loose sand. Once we get up towards the top here, the trail is going to start to level out a bit. Sand will become packed a little bit harder, I think, and we will eventually be getting some pretty good views of Lake Michigan. Yay, we are beginning to get to the crest of this trail. You can see open sky up there. That's a sign of Lake Michigan. So we have reached our objective, or at least one of the objectives. Here we are now at the shoreline of Lake Michigan, and you can see that this is where the trail gets really interesting, really steep. We are going down now a fairly massive sand dune. It is a little hard to negotiate, and I just think about taking off my hiking boots and how much sand is going to be in them at the end of this excursion. But here we go. It's not too bad, and you can just see today is a gorgeous day to be out here. Nice blue skies, white puffy clouds, and about 3 to 4 foot breakers out on Lake Michigan. And here's my wife and our friends who are hiking with me today. You can see they're farther ahead because they're not recording a YouTube video right now. Absolutely gorgeous down here. We are going to get closer to the water, and I hope get some great shots of Lake Michigan for you guys. And this is the wide beach here on Cowles Bog Trail. We're just about down at the water right now, and in the far distance you can see Chicago. And as I begin to pan around also here, there's a smokestack. So that shows you how close we are to these steel mills here in Gary, Indiana. And I've said this in a previous Amazing Indiana video about the Indiana Dunes parks. It's really wonderful that we have this resource here in Indiana, because by setting this land aside, we have kept the south shore of Lake Michigan in Indiana becoming one gigantic urban sprawl, which is what could have happened had people not had the foresight to set these marvelous dunes aside. And also there was a certain amount of dune restoration work that was done in the area to restore some of these dunes to their natural state. I always marvel when I'm here at Indiana Dunes, either the state park or the national park, that you get down onto a stretch of land like this and you start to think, oh man, that water is really close. And guess what? It's a lot farther away than you would think. And as you can see, my wife is up there in the blue, and she's with our friends, and we're all hiking together today. And they're getting now to the actual lake shore. Now, by the way, I have seen people in the past when I've been here who have actually hiked this trail and carried in beach towels and, you know, umbrellas, if you can believe that, so that they can have kind of a private beach. I am not sure that the National Park Service is cool with that, but you know, to each their own. It is kind of a nice place to have your own private beach, but the thing you want to be concerned with, if you go swimming in an area of Lake Michigan that does not have a lifeguard, you are swimming at a certain risk. Now, we're down at the beach, and one of the things you can see is that these are pretty good size breakers. These breakers are creating a rip current. So if you were to go swimming here by yourself, you'd be taking a little bit of a risk, I think, because that riptide can carry you out into the lake quicker than you might think. But again, the beach here is absolutely lovely, and you can see why people come down here. And my wife is getting ready to put her feet in the water. You can see why people come down here, and they just love having this beach all to themselves. All right, we are now starting the challenging part of this trip, and that is coming off the beach. And guys, the Park Service gives you a map and it says steep climb. They mean it. And you can see that this is pretty steep. There goes my wife and our friends, and this is indeed a pretty steep, challenging trail, but just think of the glory you'll have when you're all done. I like to do hard things, everybody, but wow, this hard thing is a little ridiculous. Looks a lot easier than it is. I have to say, thank goodness that there are all of these routes to kind of help you get up. Otherwise, this exit from the beach would be darn near impossible. Okay, everybody, this is really kind of a tough trail. I just checked my heart rate. I'm doing 104 beats a minute, so that's pretty good. So this is now the hike back to the what I call the north parking lot of Cowles Bog Trail. And it's just gorgeous out here today. This is a really lovely, lovely trail. And of course, now we're going back on part of the trail that we've already been on. But you know, when you walk the opposite way on a trail that you've already been, it's a whole new trail. So I don't mind going back, because now I'm seeing stuff that was behind me. And we are going to have to do a little climbing here, and then it's going to be kind of up and down through the woods here till we get towards the wetlands area, and then it'll be pretty level the whole way back towards the parking lot. So we're now kind of at the top of one of the dunes. That path in front of me is the one we just hiked up, and as I come around here, you get a sense that, yeah, we're on top of this dune. And as I move the camera down this way, you can see that we are going to be descending a bit. Hey, that always makes you a little nervous, because there's that old expression, what goes up must come down, what goes down must come up. You get the idea. But you can see, again, hiking on this stuff here, this sand is, and I said it a little while ago, this is kind of like hiking in your kid's sandbox. This really is being at the beach. But again, look at how fantastic this ecosystem is and how underappreciated I think it is. Here you've got this sand, and now we've got this vegetation, including trees, hardwood trees, which have grown into the dune, and that's what's holding all of this together. It's really a remarkable thing and kind of an amazing thing to see here in Indiana. So, you know, what I like about the Indiana Dunes is this. If you want to go and hang out at the beach, in the national park or at Indiana Dunes State Park, you can do that. If you want to go for a really great hike, you can do that too. And when you're doing your hikes in this area, you're going to find just a remarkable variety of ecosystems. You're going to find these forests, which are in the dunes. You're also going to find all kinds of wetlands. And I always think that the variety of birds here in the dunes area is remarkable too. I've already today gotten shots, obviously, of gulls, but also of an egret, and I think a sandhill crane. I'll have to look at those pictures. I'll put them up with this video. In fact, here they are right now. So all kinds of bird life around here. Great place to get lots of nature photography done. And I think if you guys come out here and hike this particular trail, you're going to fall in love with it. Another great thing about hiking this particular trail, the Cowles Bog Trail, is that you are not going to be running into a whole lot of people depending on the time of year you're here. If you're here in the early fall like we are right now, not going to be too many people on the trail. This is one of the less popular trails in the national park, but it's still very, very nice. Gives you a great introduction to the ecology of this part of Indiana. And another really great part of the trail too is that you do not have to pay any fee to come up and hike on this part of the trail. Now, if you go up to the national park at the West Beach area, you will pay a $6 parking fee to park at that part of the park, and that, however, is where you can do the Diana of the Dunes challenge. Great hike. You'll be going over a couple of major sand dunes by way of a really great stairway and boardwalk system. But you don't have to. You do have to pay over here on this part of in this part of the park. You don't have to pay any kind of fees at all. So, great place to get in a really nice hike with very few people around. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Amazing Indiana and our hike through the Cowles Bog area. Great hike. Great to take you along, and hope you'll join us again on Amazing Indiana. And please remember to subscribe to the channel and also like this particular video. And we will see you next time on another episode of Amazing Indiana.